I just had to share this with you. Beautiful, beautiful song. Listen. So, something that makes this song interesting is that it has what's called a hemiola, which is not an illness. What makes this song so interesting is that it has a hemiola in it. And no, hemiola is not a disease. It's something in music where there's patterns of threes and patterns of twos, and they're covering the same amount of time. Not that they're adding to five, but sometime you're hearing threes and sometime you're hearing twos. Here's a gal. She's going to explain hemiola. I'll kind of help you out on the parts that seem a bit confusing.
Please allow me to explain exactly what a hemiola is and how it works. Let's start with some basic maths. 3 times 2 equals 6. 6 can be divided into either 3 groups of 2 or 2 groups of 3. Music is divided into bars. If we are in 3 and we combine 2 bars together, we will have 6 beats in total. Those 6 beats can then be redivided. We could continue with the original time signature of 2 groups of 3, but we could also redivide those 6 beats and we could have 3 groups of 2. Watch our juggler. The red ball represents the downbeat. He's now juggling in 3/4 time. Now watch our juggler. Again, the red ball is the downbeat, but now he's in 2/4 time.
Although that's interesting to watch with the juggling, for me it's a bit confusing because I need to hear it. So I'm going to rewind and have him do the juggling again, but I'm going to count it with him. If you want to count along, you can.
Watch our juggler. The red ball represents the downbeat.
1, 2, 3.
He's now
1,
juggling
2, 3.
in 3/4
1,
time.
2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Now watch our.
So music that's usually in threes are music like waltzes. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, dancing around like that. So here's the twos. I'll count it while he juggles.
Juggler. Again, the red ball is the
2,
downbeat,
1,
but
2,
now he's in
1,
2/4
2.
time.
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Now watch our juggler
1, 2,
as he
3,
keeps the
1,
tempo the
2,
same,
3,
but
1,
changes
2,
the
1,
groupings.
2, 1, 2, 1.
With
2,
hemiolas, the
1,
time
2,
signature
3,
doesn't
1,
change.
2,
It's
1,
just
2,
the groupings
1,
of the
2.
notes that change. For that brief moment, the bar line is overridden by the hemiola. For example, if we look at this music by Lully, we can see that the time signature stays in 3/4 throughout, and the.
Okay, so she's saying this is the time signature here. So it has a 3, so the whole song is in 3 except for here. So even though it says 3, this note is 2 beats. This, because of the tie, becomes 2 beats, and that becomes 2 beats. So it'll go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 at that point.
Sometimes hemiolas are quite ambiguous, and sometimes they're not in all the parts at the same time.
I'm going to go back and I'm going to count that for you now that you've heard it. By the way, that one spot was not the only place that it was in twos. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1. I know that'd probably be hard for you to do, but this is a introduction point. I'm not expecting you to be able to do that. I'm just trying to open your ears to things.
Here's another example. If we look at this excerpt by Gemignani, we can see that 2 bars of 3/8 have been combined into 1 bar of 3/4. So the hemiola is very obvious.
Through here, it sounds like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. When it gets to that point, it sounds like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I'll count it with it, and I'm going to clap the strong beats or the ones.
So the hemiola is very obvious.
3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
If we are in 3 and feeling the pulse as 1 in a bar, then a hemiola will create an auditory illusion.
Auditory is what you hear. Illusion, kind of think of like a magician. It's making you think or see something else. Obviously, it's music, so you're not seeing it, but you're feeling something else.
As though the music is speeding up, like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And if I clap that pattern without counting, it would sound like this. However, if we are in 3 and feeling a distinct 3 beats in a bar, and we hit hemiola, it will have the opposite auditory illusion, and it will sound as though the music is slowing down.
So what she's saying for the auditory illusion this time is that if you're starting in threes, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and you change to twos, it's going to feel slower.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And again, without my counting. And this is particularly effective if it happens at the end of a piece or at the end of a movement, signaling the final cadence.
So a cadence feels like an ending, and she's saying that when you have that hemiola there that feels like it's slowing down, it will feel like it's coming to end. So she was going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then that would be the end of the song. So if it was like bum ba-dum bum ba-dum bum 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 bum, sounds final. So what makes this song interesting, and it's not in an obvious way, it's more in a hidden way that it sounds interesting and it sticks with you and it's enjoyable, but it's not overtly obvious, is because of that hemiola. And then I'm going to show you where we can see it. If our triangles are 1, so this is 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The beating doesn't sound like that. It's just that's how long it's taking me to draw this. So we have this pattern of 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then it suddenly changes here, going back to blue. So we have 1, 2 pattern for a little bit. I'll do red for that. 1, 2, We have that 1, 2 here too. Ha ha ha. Also, where was I? Yellow. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's hear that with it. Hide tools. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Hard to do. I would ask you to do it, but I'd probably have to slow me down, which is probably possible. So I want you to do that with me again. If you can, try clapping the ones. So at half speed, it'll be 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm not going to count because it'll probably sound ridiculous slow-mo. So I'll just move the mouse and pat. Here we go. All right, we're going to try that again, but a little bit faster. So this is the speed. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. That's the new speed.